let's talk about how I became a teacher. Hello everyone and welcome back to Teacher's Place. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be talking about how I became a teacher and hopefully give you an idea of what to expect if you want to become a teacher as well. If you want to see more education content like this, please hit the subscribe button below. So I've been teaching for 2 years now. From 2018 to 2019, I taught in London, UK, and the 2019 to 2020, I taught in Shenyang, China. If you don't know, if you haven't seen my latest videos, we're currently back in Toronto just because of the coronavirus outbreak. Our school's been closed for a while and all schools have been closed. We're currently back in Canada until the situation gets better. I hold 2 degrees, a Bachelor of Arts specializing in French from the University of Toronto, and a Bachelor of Education from OISE, or the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education. I also have an additional qualification in FSL Part 1, or French as a Second Language Part 1, which allows me to teach French to immersion and second language students. The program that I took part in at U of T was an accelerated program, so it was a 5-year program taking you through 4 years of your undergrad and 1 year for your Bachelor of Education. That meant that I was taking regular courses at U of T as well as education courses throughout my undergrad. That meant that while taking regular undergrad courses, I was also taking 1 education course during semester all the way up until my 4th year. And I was required to take part in observation and classroom teaching experience while I was doing my undergrad as well. And if you are an accelerated program, you'll probably be doing the same thing. Sadly, this program no longer exists at U of T, and I don't believe in Ontario at all because Ontario has extended the amount of time it takes to become a teacher from 5 years to 6 years. I had a great time in my program at U of T and at OISE. The teachers were excellent for the most part. I had excellent classmates who were very passionate about becoming teachers, and most importantly, and this is a secret, the classes for education were actually pretty easy. Yes, you heard me right. The classes in OISE and the classes at U of T to become a teacher were easy, but not for the reason you might think. Other courses at U of T for my Bachelor of Arts were complicated, some of them were hard, some of them were regular courses that I did well in, but for the most part, they were university level courses that got progressively harder every single year. Bachelor of Education courses, for the most part, were theory courses where a lot of discussion took place. It wasn't about submitting long assignments and big essays and doing lots of research, but for the most part, it was discussing with your colleagues how you should be teaching and what are the best solutions for teachers. There's no right way to handle a situation in a classroom or deal with parents or classroom management or anything surrounding teaching. So the entire course structure was based around discussion and theory of teaching and theory of education. Courses ranged from classroom management to the ethics and morals of teaching to early childhood development, because you may be teaching as early as 3-4 years old for some teachers. And this also extended to OISE classes as well. And OISE. Any teacher's college will not test you through their classes, but really test you through their practicums. For those of you who are unaware, as a teacher in training, you are required to take part in practicums during your teacher's college. And if you're in an accelerated program, you take part in mini practicums throughout your Bachelor of Arts or your undergrad. This means that when you are in your Bachelor of Education, you are going to different schools in Ontario, 2 schools, and you are physically taking over a class from a host teacher, and you are running everything for that teacher. You are running assignments, you are running quizzes, you are running lessons, and you are making your units. I taught in a grade 2 class and a grade 5 class in my practicum. And practicums are stressful. They are hard for a good reason. It simulates real life teaching. And you get to take over a class in the middle of a year from a teacher who already had the class and who is assessing you the entire time that you're teaching, while students who you are completely unfamiliar with judge you as well and are unfamiliar with your own teaching style. In all honesty though, it really wasn't that bad. At least what you're getting is volunteer host teachers. So you're never going to get a teacher that was forced to have a teacher in training in their class. The program is entirely voluntary, and it's teachers who want to impart their knowledge to you as the student. And your practicums culminate into an observation lesson from a professor assigned to you by your university. In this case, I had one for my first practicum and one for my second practicum. And the second portion of your practicum is a written assessment written by your host teacher who is watching you day in, day out teaching. As a practicum teacher, she or he is required to be in the classroom at all times with you because you are not a licensed teacher yet. You are not allowed to be in the classroom by yourself with students. For the most part, there are slight exceptions to the rule if there's an emergency or anything like that. After your 4-year program is up for your Bachelor of Arts and you are finally finishing up your practicums, the only thing really left to do is to finish up those pesky assignments given to you by your teacher's college. Those could be anything from a written assignment. For us, we had lots of presentations to give to our colleagues about different topics of education. I personally had physical education of mine, and I made all my colleagues do jumping jacks, and they were very afraid because I was like a drill sergeant to them. And by the end of those 5 years, you get your Bachelor of Arts degree, you get your Bachelor of Education degree, and you're off into the world of education. The way it works in Ontario is you apply through different boards. Each board costs a certain amount of money to apply to. And when you apply, you go through the board. There's no selection by the actual school. The board assigns you to the schools that you're going to be going to avoid any biases and to avoid any cherry picking from principals who may know a student teacher from their past. And once you are assigned to a school, you become a teacher. As a teacher, you're required to do the same things you've done in your practicum: the quizzes, the assignments, the classroom management, the unit, and dealing with parents and everything in between. Your practicum prepares you pretty well, I would say, for becoming a teacher. And it is more stressful than actually being a teacher in the first place. So that's a good thing. If you can handle your practicum, you could probably handle being a teacher. So that's my journey of how I became a teacher in Ontario. And I would like to know in the comment section below if you have any interesting stories about how you became a teacher where you're from. If you'd like to see more video content, hit that subscribe button below for weekly uploads. And I'll see everyone in the next video.